Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sports Addict, where sports it's all that matters. With just 4 weeks left in the NFL season, and the playoffs are shaping up, I thought I'll make a video talking about what percentage each team has on winning their division, making the playoffs, and making it to the Super Bowl. I mean, for most of the team, it's obvious, even if the percentage still gives them a chance. We all know as NFL fans that they will not make the playoffs. I'll be starting with the AFC playoff picture. I'll start with the Buffalo Bills. They're 100% obviously to make the playoffs, 100% to win their division the way they're playing, but they're 17% to earn a bye week, and they're supposedly one of the favorites to make it to the Super Bowl in the AFC East, with 28% chance of making it to the Super Bowl. Then we have the obvious favorites, the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like 100% the Chiefs have to make the playoffs, of course. Of course, 100% to win the division. These things we know, but they have a 77% chance to earn a bye and stuff. And then we have the how much percent to make the Super Bowl. You'd think it would be higher, but ESPN has them at 26% to make it to the Super Bowl. So looking at it, there's like the AFC Championship game can be Buffalo versus Chiefs, Chiefs versus Buffalo. But the question would be who, where would they be playing? Will the Chiefs be going at Buffalo, or will Buffalo go at Chiefs and stuff? Like looking at these percentages, but the percentage can be wrong. Either one of these teams won't make it that far, either the Bills or the Chiefs. Then in third, we have the Steelers, 99% chance of making the playoffs, 1% below the Chiefs and Bills, 81% to win the division. Like, it's anyone's. 81%, they have a little bit, less percentage to win the division than the Bills and Chiefs, but 81% still high. But earn a bye, they only have 6% to get the bye and 10% to make it to the Super Bowl. So the Steelers are the least favorite to make it to the Super Bowl, looking at all these teams that I'm going to be mentioning right now who are going to make the playoffs. Then we have the Ravens, a 97% chance of making the playoffs. The Steelers division rival. The Ravens have 19% of winning their division. So even though the Steelers have 81, a few percentages down from the Bills and Chiefs, but the Ravens being at 19% and the Pittsburgh Steelers being 81%, they obviously, I feel like the Steelers will take the division. Then obviously the Ravens have 1% chance to earn a bye and 18% to make it to the playoffs. Even though the Steelers have 81% win the division, but the Ravens still have a 97% chance to make it to a playoff and an 18% to make it to the Super Bowl. So the division shouldn't really matter to the Ravens because they have supposedly a higher percentage than the Steelers to make it to the Super Bowl. Then we have the Texans, 96% chance of making it to the playoff, 94% making it to the winning the division, 1% of getting the bye, 7% of the Texans making it to the Super Bowl. So right now, looking at these percentages, the four favorite teams, to make it to the playoffs, If I had to put them in order, are Buffalo the favorite, Chiefs are the second favorite, Ravens are the third favorite, Steelers are the fourth favorite. So those four teams have a higher chance to make it to the Super Bowl. So I'll do a prediction on those four teams, looking at these stats to see how many wins will they get in the final four games. I know I already did prediction video, but I'm focusing on these four teams in the AFC conference. You know, because I could put the Texans in, but 7% making it to the Super Bowl. Now we're going to the least chance to make it to the Super Bowl and the playoff. The Charger has 90% chance of, uh, going to the playoff. Of course, 0%. Obviously, the Chiefs own the division. 0% to get a bye week, obviously, and 6% to make it to the Super Bowl. So we're going to start seeing the least favorite teams to make it. We all know this, but I'm focusing on the statistic part of the what the percentages says. Obviously, we know that it's not. These teams are not making it to the Super Bowl. They have very slightly chance that won't happen. But anyway, Denver have 74% chance of making it to the playoffs. Obviously, zero chance to win the division. Chiefs own it. 0% to go to have a bye week. 3% to make it to the Super. Obviously, they're playing with a rookie quarterback. Then we have the Colts, 26% making it the playoffs, 6% to win their division. I feel like the Texans are going to take it. Then we have 0% to uh, get a bye week, 1% to make it to the Super Bowl. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Then we're going to, you know, go with the Dolphins, 50% of winning the division. Obviously, they're not. 15% to win to make it to the playoff. My bad. Of course, the Bills own the division. 0% chance to win the division. Zero chance to a bye week. 1% chance to go to the Super Bowl. And lastly, we have the Bengals. 3% chance to make it to the playoff. 1% chance win the division. 0% chance to make it to the playoff. 1% to make it to the Super Bowl. And the rest of the teams, the Browns, Jacksonville, Patriots, Jets, Vegas, and Titans are all officially eliminated. Now let's just check the NFC playoff picture. Eagles have 1% chance to make it to the playoff. Uh, they have 98% chance of winning the division, very high percentage. 16% to earn a bye, make it to a Super Bowl, 18%. Then we have the Lions, 100% to make it to the play. Obviously, the Eagles and the Lions are the best teams right now, the teams to beat in the NFC. But if I have to pick one, a team to beat, I say the Lions. The Lions are the team to beat. But right behind them are the Eagles. But the main team to beat in the NFC is the Lions. They have 89% chance of winning the division, a little lower than the Eagles, but they still have a high chance. 75% to earn a bye week. They're the one who have a better chance to win in first place than the Eagle. 38% to make it to the Super Bowl. Like I said, the Lions, if you have to pick one, the team to beat this season, it's the Lions. Then we have their division rival, the Minnesota Vikings. 99% to make it to a playoff. Very high percentage. Obviously, they'll make it. Win division 11%. I doubt they'll beat the Lions and win the division. 8% to earn a bye week. 11% to make it to the Super Bowl. So right now the two favorites to make it to the Super Bowl, the Lions being the first favorite and then the Eagle being second favorite. Then we have the Packers being the 99% chance of making it to the play. They'll make the playoff. 1% to win the division. Obviously, the Lions own it. 1% to get a bye week. Obviously, 14% to make it to the Super Bowl. So the way I'll put the favorites is Lions are the main favorite. Eagles come in second, and the Packers come in third, and in fourth we put the Minnesota Vikings. Those are the four favorite teams to make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, but the main favorite obviously is the Lions, because the rest of the teams don't have a pretty high chance to make it to the Super. Like the Commanders, 84% to make it to the playoff, 2% to win the division, 0% a bye week, 5% to, you know, go to the Super Bowl. So very low chances. Then we have the Bucks, 76% to make to the playoffs, 74% to win their division, 0% to get a bye, and 5% to make it to the Super Bowl. Now we're starting to see the teams there are favorites to go to the playoff, but not favorite to go all the way. Then we have 52%. The Rams are making the playoff, 48% are winning the division. They're the favorite to win the NFC West, supposedly. Then we have 0% to get a bye week and 3% to make it to the Super Bowl. They'll probably win the division. It's gonna be between them and the Seahawks and the Cardinals, but at first it looked like the Cardinals, but looking at their percentage, that I'll talk a little bit more about. It's between the Rams and the Seahawks, supposed to looking at these percentages. Then the Seahawks 50% to make it to the playoff, 45% to make it to win their division, 3% down from the Rams, 0% to get a bye week, 3% to make it to the Super Bowl. Then we're going to the lower team, which is the Falcons, 30% to make the playoffs, 26% to, you know, uh, win their division, 0 bye week, 1% to make it to the Super Bowl. The Cardinals are 8% of making it to the playoffs, 7% to win the division. It looked like the Cardinals were going to take it, but now they went down 0%, 1% to make it to the Super Bowl. Then my Niners, obviously, 1% to make the playoff, 1% to win the division, 0% to get a bye week, 1% to make the Super Bowl. They won't make it. I'm just gonna read the list of teams that are, you know, have a chance, slightly chance, but obviously they won't make the playoffs. But this is just a video. I know they won't make. Honestly, we all know they won't make it. The Cardinals, Niners, Saints, they all have 1%. Cowboys have 1%. Saints have 1%. The Panthers have 1%. The category zero a bye week, and the only team officially eliminated in the NFC West, are the New York Giants. Well, those are the percentages. Now I'm gonna see now we're gonna look at the percentages. Who is taking the number 1 seed all the way to the 7th seed? So 77% chance the Chiefs have to get the 1st seed in a bye week. 17% are the Bills. The Bills are 55% to get the 2nd seed in the AFC, while the Steelers are 21%. So basically, it's going to be Chiefs and Bills fighting for that number 1 seed. But looking at the percentages, I feel like it's going to be Chiefs first, and 55% have the Bills. So I say it's going to be Chiefs, Bills, and then the Steelers are 47% to get the 3rd place. Well, the Bills are 26 and 12%. So I feel like those three are going to be the top 3 seeds. And then we go 83% are the Texans. Nobody right behind them. The Texans probably will take the 4th because the Ravens are 42% to take the 5th. Chargers 32, Broncos 14, and Steelers 11. Then the Chargers are 35% to take the 6th seed, 29% the Ravens, and 22 the Broncos. Then the 7th seed, 37% say the Broncos are gonna take the 7th seed. The Chargers are 24% to take the 7th seed, 16% to take the 7 by the Colts, and 11% by the Dolphins. Now let's check the NFC seeding chances. Like I said, the Lions are going to be first. Obviously, I feel like the Eagles won't take the Lions down from the first seed. 75% the Lions, 16% the Eagles, 81% are the Eagles 81 in the second seed. 13% are the Lions to get the second seed. So it's gonna be Lions and Eagles, I feel like. Then 41% are the Bucks to get the third, 29% to get the third for the Seahawks, and 23% to get the Rams in third seed. And the Bucks have a chance to end up in third, or even worse, end up in fourth. 33% say the Bucks will end in fourth. 25% have the Rams ending in the fourth seed. 21% have the Falcons ending in fourth, and 16% have the Seahawks. Then fifth seed, 61% have the Vikings. 26% have the Packers. 11% have the Lions. I feel like I can. I feel like I should. I feel like the Vikings should be put in third, and fourth should be, and fifth seed should be the Bucks because the Packers have 53% making it to the sixth seed, 23% the Vikings, and 22% the Commanders. So I feel like the way I put my playoff seedings: Lions at first, Eagles second, Minnesota third, Packers fourth, uh, Bucks fifth, and so on. Then 58% the Commander have to end in seven, and 20% the Packers have to end in seven seed. Now I'm gonna see who it says chances for the number one pick in the 2021 NFL draft. The rest of the NFL have 25% chance, very low, including my Niners that were not playing that well, or the Cowboys, or the Raiders. I mean, I'm going off on the teams that are very popular. I have a big family like the Cowboys, Raiders, Niners. But my fellow Giant fan, you guys have 42% of taking the first seed. Well, the Panther, even though the Panther have been playing not that so great, they have 11% chance to get the number one pick, and the Patriots have 22%. So the worst team this season, looking at this percentage, is supposedly the New York Giants. So those are your guys' numbers. Playoffs, who's gonna make the playoffs and who's gonna miss the playoffs. Super Bowl percentage, who has a higher chance to make it to the Super Bowl. You already mentioned the teams that are officially eliminated in the AFC and NFC. Talked about how much percentage each team have to end up in first, number one seeding, second, and so on. Now I give you guys, before the end of the video, I give you guys who have a higher chance to get the number one seed. So I basically went over everything because I found this ESPN article giving them, the percentages of everything, playoffs, number one seed, who's making it to the Super Bowl, and so on. So after explaining you guys what percentage each teams have, my question is who will make the Super Bowl and the playoffs this season. I mean, the Super Bowl, it's like only four teams are favorite in each conference, I feel like, after looking all that, but there's very few percentages on all the playoff teams. They all basically have 1%. The NFC everybody has a chance, 1%. There's a slight chance because the New York Giants are the only team eliminated in the NFC. So leave your guys' comments down below. Is your team making the playoffs? Or does your team have a high chance to make it to the Super Bowl? Leave your guys' comments down below. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And don't forget, this is Sports Addict, where sports, it's all that matters. Until next time.